Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawk. We are St. Louis.
The temperature is topped over 100 degrees again today in the Gateway City. But it hasn't stopped the fans from filing in for game one of a three-game weekend series with the Pittsburgh Pirates here tonight. Yadier Molina's in the lineup. He's homered in 3 straight starts. Carlos Beltran needs just one more hit for 2,000 career hits. Maybe he'll get it tonight. Rick Horton with Al Raboski. The Cardinals coming off a very good road trip, a bit of a surprise to some, maybe to most. What was working for St. Louis on this last trip?
Well, first of all, let's remember they got off to a very slow start in Detroit. They ran into Verlander and company, and so they lost that series. But, boy, did they get healthy in Kansas City. A sweep there, and the bats came alive, and then they win the series in Miami. Yeah, they could have won 7-2 on that trip, but let's don't forget 6-3 is very good. The runs were great. The offense was great. The pitching was a little suspect. Starters were very good. Lance Lynn had 2 so-so starts. The bullpen needs to tighten things up, and it looks like 8th and 9th inning are starting to fall into place.
The bullpen, obviously the area that the Cardinals are working with. What are they going to need to do to shore that up?
2 things. One is don't walk anybody, and the second one is don't throw home run pitches. They do those things, the bullpen will be fine.
Sounds like a good plan, Al. Appreciate that insight. There's Clint Hurdle. The Pirates are in town. We'll have more from Busch after this. Division standings, the Cincinnati Reds still atop the Central. The Pirates and the Cardinals closing in. Cincinnati playing the Giants in San Francisco, and they're red hot tonight. Well, Al, why are the Pittsburgh Pirates so good? They're just a game out. You look at their team, their offense isn't very good, but what makes them special?
Well, it's very simple. They've had pretty good pitching all season long, but recently they're starting to get the offense, and that's made the big difference. Some of their starters haven't got much run support. McDonald and A.J. Burnett have been outstanding all year, but it's really right now the offense, other than McCutchen, he's been solid all year and should be an all-star.
Be very interesting to watch this series unfold. We'll take a look at our starting pitchers when we come back on Fox Sports Midwest. Keys to the game. The starters for both clubs have been very good this year, but the relievers for the Pirates have been outstanding. An ERA of 2.77 as a staff, third in all of baseball. Tonight, the starting pitchers, Kevin Correa, the veteran 31-year-old right-hander, will start for Clint Hurdle. He had a very rough May. He's been much better in June. It's led to a 3-6 record overall. Teams like to jump on the first pitch that Correa throws. He likes to get ahead, look for the Cardinals to swing. Adam Wainwright has had a very good year. In fact, coming off 3 quality interleague starts where he was very good. Went 7 innings in each outing, picking up just 1 victory. His first win of the year came against the Pirates on the 1st of May. We'll have more from Busch Stadium after this. City road trip, the Redbirds have returned to St. Louis. The temperatures are rising, so Cardinal fans are doing what it takes to stay cool. Like the weather, Adam Wainwright is heating up and looks to stay hot tonight against the Pittsburgh Pirates. First of 10 straight here at home. Next on Fox Sports Midwest. Is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By your Mid-America Chevy dealers, the #1 selling brand in St. Louis. Find us at stlchevy.com. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. And by Steak and Shake, just no equal. Beautiful Busch Stadium. Warm temperatures here in St. Louis. Nice crowd on hand. Game 1 of a 9-game homestand going into the All-Star break. Our umpire behind the plate, St. Louis and Ron Culpa. Daryl Cousins is the crew chief. He'll be at third. Jim Wolf and DJ Rayburn are our other umpires. And here is the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines for Pittsburgh. Drew Sutton, just acquired from Tampa Bay, will lead off and play left field. Jose Tabata, Andrew McCutcheon, and Garrett Jones will follow. Neil Walker, Pedro Alvarez, Rod Barajas, Clint Barmas, the shortstop, and Kevin Correa, the veteran right-hander, will pitch and bat ninth. And the Cardinals go with their ace, Adam Wainwright.
Well, Adam Wainwright has always pitched very well against the Pirates, but right now he has his confidence back. His last 3 starts, he's gone at least 7 innings, and he's just, right now, I think he can summon up any pitch he wants to throw. He has the confidence that he can throw it for strikes, and he can put it in a location that he wants.
Confidence, such a key to this game, isn't it?
People have no clue. Yes, it takes a lot of physical skills to play at this level, but the rest of it's between the ears.
The defense behind Adam Wainwright, Holiday, Jay, and Beltran in the outfield from left to right. Burkal and Descalzo are up the middle. David Freese and Craig at the corners. Yadier Molina, red hot, will catch. Adam Wainwright will pitch. Our Dobbs Cardinals defense. Temperature right now, 102 degrees. Good news is the humidity's not so bad.
Yeah, about 25%, 28 now, instead of about 60, 78%. So if you can ever be comfortable at 102, it's now.
We are underway. Strike at the knees from Wainwright. Drew Sutton.
He was just picked up by Tampa Bay last Sunday.
Really wasn't playing very poorly for them. Ground ball just foul.
They hit 271. The one thing I noticed, though, Ricky, was he made 3 errors in just 18 games. So he doesn't look like he has much power. He looks like he's more of a leadoff type guy. He's a switch hitter and hitting well from the left side. He is 4 for 6.
Pirates have found some offense collectively in the month of June after a very poor start. They're still 15th in the National League with their .233 average, but they're scoring more runs.
Now, McCutchen has been solid all season long, even though he hadn't done much against St. Louis.
The Wainwright curveball sets down Sutton, and we are underway. Good start for Mr. Wainwright in search of victory number 7, 6-7 on the year, with an ERA of 4.3, and there's that curveball.
Right, takes that finger off the ball, but boy, can he pull down on it. And look at that, starts out at the top of the head and then down to the knees.
Almost see it, you can almost see it in his eyes, Al. About halfway there, he was thinking, uh-oh.
And you don't have, and his mind could register he was in trouble.
But it's
and
too
he's
late.
hoping that Ron Kolpa couldn't pull the trigger, which he did.
Jose Tabata runs well, hits well. Not having a very good season yet, but very talented outfielder. He's in right field today, just .226.
Whatever reason, he's hit well against the Cardinals.
There's that curveball again at 72.
And another frozen hitter.
A lot of Pirates have hit well against Wainwright. A little surprising. Ground ball to the right side, and that is a hit for Tabata. Just took it the other way, and he's aboard for McCutchen.
As to his .340 average against St. Louis. Scalzo up the middle, perfectly between he and first base. You can keep the Pirates down to singles, and you'll be okay.
McCutchen represents a lot of the powers that the Pirates have. 14 home runs, and he's 7 for 18 against Wainwright in his career.
And yet on the season, he has struggled against Cardinal pitching, but he is their biggest threat. They're looking at an all-star, I'm sure.
Very relaxed stance of Andrew McCutchen. Almost like he's trying to lull the pitcher to sleep. McCutchen has not hit the Cardinals well. There's the average you're talking about, Al. 176. Cincinnati's also struggled there, but he's hit the rest of the division pretty well.
100 average against Chicago, Houston, Milwaukee. 231 against Cincinnati, who will be playing against the Giants. Giants have had 4 straight shutouts thrown by their starters.
They have overtaken the Los Angeles Dodgers in the West. Dodgers have lost 5 straight.
Kane going tonight, so whoever wins this game can hopefully pick up some ground.
Curveball hung a bit, hit hard to left over the head of Holiday. One hops off the wall. Tabata is into third, and McCutchen into second with a stand-up double. Continues to hit Adam Wainwright well. Just waited back on that curveball.
Holiday sees a line drive hit so hard over his head, couldn't get back there, but he plays the carom perfectly. Tried to get it into second to keep the double play in order, but McCutchen runs very well. Tabata goes to third.
Pirates threatening here in the first. Garrett Jones, the first baseman, at 250. Line drive right at Craig, and he's got it. Right on the nose. Good break for Wainwright and St. Louis here in the first.
Need a little luck at times. And now with 2 outs, Neil Walker. Adam has his escape route. So just a line drive bullet right at the Cardinal first baseman. 2 outs in the inning. 1 pitch.
Simple as that. Neil Walker is a switch hitter. Average about the same from both sides. More power from the left side, however. All 4 of his home runs from the left side. Takes a breaking pitch away. 1-0.
He's hit 300 on the road this year. And not bad with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Just a good player. Pittsburgh native. Line drive to right in the gap, and Beltran can't get it. Good effort by Carlos Beltran. RBI hit for Neil Walker, and it's 2-0 Pittsburgh.
Trying to go inside, leaves it middle half. 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and Beltran gives that great effort. John Jay right there to back up the play, but with 2 outs, both of them running on contact, it's 2-0 Pirates.
Alvarez bounces out to Descalzo. Clint Hurdle and the Pirates strike first. 2-0 Pittsburgh. Batting order for game 1 against the Pirates. Rafael Furcal will play shortstop and lead off for Mike Matheny. John Jay and Matt Holliday to follow here in the first. Carlos Beltran looking for career hit number 2,000. Alan Craig, Yadier Molina, David Freese will bat 7th. How about that? Daniel Descalzo in the 8th spot, and Adam Wainwright will pitch and bat 9th against the right-hander, the veteran, 31 years old, Kevin Correa.
Well, Correa has been getting very little run support, but he has won 2 of his last 3 decisions. His last 6 starts, he has a 3.41 ERA. And that was since losing 5 straight starts. He's really gotten very little run support, and he's keeping the ball in the ballpark. He allowed 1 home run in his first 4 starts. And he has been getting up the long ball. He's surrendered 12 in his last 10 outings. He's almost at his run support for the year. They're only averaging 2.91 runs when he's on the mound.
First pitch from Correa is a bit high to Furcal. Furcal starting to swing the bat well again. Went through a bit of a dry stage. Lasted maybe a week to 10 days. Bounces this one to the second baseman, Neil Walker, and he throws out Furcal. Pirates defense behind Correa, Sutton, McCutchen, and Tabataar in the outfield. McCutchen's a good one in center. Barmes has started fielding well again. We know that he can do that. Walker up the middle, Jones and Alvarez at the corners. Rod Barajas back in the lineup. He's been dealing with a knee issue. He'll catch. And if the Cardinals can get some base runners, they're going to run on Barajas.
Yes. He's only thrown out 6% of base stealers on the year.
John Jay at 325. Cardinals certainly missed him when he was out. Shoulder issues, running into a center field wall, never quite got back to 100%, had to go on the disabled list. And you miss his offense, but I really think you miss his defense when he's not out.
Probably a little more so right now, the defense. John Jay is 5 for 21 since coming off the disabled list. And he said, you know, I'm okay to play. I'm not in best, you know, I don't have my timing back, but good enough to play because of that lapse in defense.
Jay has been a productive hitter since coming to St. Louis. Good minor league numbers too, but really didn't miss a beat at this level. He's handled big league pitching very well. Hit .297 a year ago. Curveball is bounced back to Correa. Off balance throw. 2 ground ball outs for St. Louis here in the first. You mentioned on the pregame show, and Mike Shannon mentioned it as well, is this is a Pirate club that you don't really want to battle in the last 2 or 3 innings of a game. You want to get off to a lead if you can. Do something to their starter, because once you get to innings 7, 8, 9, you've got problems.
Yeah, they have a very solid bullpen, and it's not just Hanrahan at the end of it. To me, Jason Grilli may be tougher on the Cardinals with his very good slider. And one of the hottest hitters is right now Correa is facing.
Matt Holliday, batting average up to 300. And on the road trip, a number of very solid at-bats from Matt.
429 on the road trip, his last 11 games. 489 with a couple home runs, 12 RBIs, and a very solid June.
Ground ball up the middle, and that'll be a base hit for Matt Holliday. So he stays hot. First base coach here tonight is John Mabry. You see Mabes at first. Chris Maloney is the coach at third. We understand that just a little illness for Jose Oquendo is keeping him out of action tonight. So we miss Jose, but Chris Maloney and John Mabry have it all under control. Carlos Beltran, 1,999 career hits.
Needs 1 home run for 200 in the National League.
And it just so happens to be Carlos Beltran jersey night at the ballpark. Perfect night for him.
And by the way, that's a very nice giveaway.
Oh,
isn't it?
I'll say. And you can't have this one.
Well, if I can't have it, some fan is getting it out. You don't even trust me, Ricky.
Only a little.
And not a bad decision.
1-1 the count to Beltran. There's that jersey. Nice promotional item tonight. The 1-1 pitch is inside, backs him off the plate. Correa does not walk very many hitters, nor does he strike out very many hitters. He's just trying to get the ball put into play.
I really believe that he'll leave a lot of pitches out over the plate. And kind of a pattern with the Pirates as they throw a lot of cutters or sliders in on the left-handed batters.
The 2-1. Strike on the corner. to Beltran, evens it at 2.
Carlos might have questioned this. Was this down? Brush the edges of the plate, and that's okay if it's consistently called for both teams.
Beltran is ready. The 2-2. Fouled off.
Ricky, we used to have all the umpires had their own individual strike zones. Pierre, Polanco, and Rowan were the last 3 to get 2,000 hits, and the next 3 are going to be Carlos, Giambi, and Jimmy Rollins.
Carlos 1 hit away. The 2-2. Grounded to the right side. Jones has it. Cardinals are retired. They strand a runner here in the first, and they trail Pittsburgh 2-0 in the early going. Kids, you can catch Andy Bennis and Fred Bird tomorrow morning on Cardinals Kids TV. They find out why there were dogs on the field, and they introduce you to a special kid who gets the gift of hearing. Cardinals Kids TV airs Saturdays at 11 on Fox Sports Midwest. Plenty of youngsters at the ballpark here tonight. Temperatures at 102 degrees at game time.
See if Adam doesn't resettle himself and start pitch a heck of a ball game. Let his offense come from behind.
Cardinals face the Pirates here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then they play the Rockies for 4 and Miami for the final 3 going into the All-Star game.
David Freese pretty close to the line at third. Expecting him to pull the ball in the infield. Even for Call, a little more in the hole at shortstop.
Mentioned Barajas hurt his knee in a game on Monday, and he hasn't played since then. So first time back in the lineup. Keep an eye on him. Timing may be off a bit, but a lot of people swing at a Wainwright curveball just like that.
Thing of beauty, isn't it? Professor Trophy gave some kind of a
I've met him.
Calculations and everything that I can't remember how he called it, but said Adam Wainwright's curveball was the best, you know, in the league, if not all of baseball.
He has a PhD in sabermetrics.
Yes,
so
he does.
If
So the
Professor
Professor
Trophy says it,
yeah.
it must be true.
I mean, he looks like he's about 12 years old, but he must be very smart.
Can't argue with you there.
This was on the post-game show the other night, and Jim Hayes was just dumbfounded. Couldn't figure it out.
Pirates trailing the Reds by a game. The Cardinals a game and a half. Pitch fouled off down the right field line, and as you mentioned earlier, the Reds are playing the Giants, and the Giants are being very stingy in the run department. So good time for both Pittsburgh and St. Louis to try to make a run.
Clint Hurdle's very pleased that his offense is coming alive.
Barma strikes out. Strikeout number 3 for Wainwright.
Cutter right there that sells it and gets him to swing at a ball way off the plate.
Correa, 150 hitter. About average, I would say, for starting pitcher. Starting pitcher can hit 200. I would say he's pretty good.
And Adam Wainwright is the advantage as far as offensive players. Adam hadn't hit this year like he has in the past, but his career average is still over 200.
Base hit Correa with 2 outs. Hit number 4 for Pittsburgh. And we're back to the top of the order and Drew Sutton.
And Correa's 4th hit of the season. And Adam Wainwright, such an exceptional athlete. A little surprised that ball right back over the mound got through him.
Not a quick reaction from Wainwright that we're used to seeing.
Maybe not the worst thing to, with the high temperatures, have that pitcher out there on the base pad.
Let's tire him out a little bit. Sutton struck out in the first. Cardinals are playing him straight up in the outfield, not very deep, and slightly to pull on the infield. Souvenir time. Imagine there's a lot of hydrating going on with both ball clubs between innings, and we hope the fans are thinking the same way.
I know that's the first thought that comes to the guys in the trucks mind is hydration. There's a training staff that I'm sure they talked extensively with Adam Wainwright coming home and the other starters that you really have to prepare, and it helps to do it a couple days out for your start.
Good point. 2-2 is grounded foul. You know, those trainers, they do such great work, and they're here a long time at the ballpark. They have to be the first ones here. The players want treatment. They have to come in early, and that means somebody from the training staff has to be here ready to help stretch them out or whatever they need. And they're kind of basically the guys that don't really want to work, but they know they're going to get some. They just assume nobody get hurt, but they have to be ready for anything. Another curveball from Wainwright. 4 strikeouts for Adam. Sports Midwest is brought to you by the new wireless receiver from AT Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. MyKiaSt.Louis.com. And right now at Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. Nice crowd on hand for Cardinal baseball. Bottom of the second inning, the Cardinals have spotted the Pirates, a 2-run lead. That came in the first inning. Neil Walker, a 2-run single, is the difference. The Cardinals with Alan Craig, Yadier Molina, and David Freese here in the second. And it's nice when you get towards the bottom of the order that you've got guys like David Freese batting 7th.
It just goes to show you how good this offense is potentially and in reality, because they're at the top of so many offensive categories in the National League.
Craig at 309.
Well, the big thing about Alan Craig is 34 RBIs in 36 games. Now, he did not hit that well on the road trip. Remember, he kind of sprained his wrist in Detroit and only hit 207 on the trip.
Here's a line drive in the gap. This is going to be down and to the wall. Craig on his way to second. A leadoff double for the Cardinal first baseman. Alan Craig has contributed. And how about the other Cardinals who have as well? 5, make it 6 batters over 300.
6 of them, and conversely, you look at the Pirates, they have Andrew McCutchen, and then after McCutchen is such a drop-off, Neil Walker came in with the second highest batting average, and that was 264. So McCutchen really has been consistent all season long.
Schumacher, the only 300 hitter not in the lineup for the Cardinals tonight. In fact, I'm a bit surprised. He has hit Correa very well. In fact, better than any other Cardinal at 7 for 16. Little surprise Skip not in the lineup.
It's kind of where do you play him? Do you play him at second base where Descalzo's been playing so well defensively, or John Jay trying to get him back on track, and maybe Mike Matheny wants to pick a spot and use that bullet, you know, in a pinch hitting roles. Those are nice problems to have.
Agreed. 1-0 to Yachty. How good was he on that road trip? 3 games in a row he went deep. Not really a guy who would describe himself as a home run hitter, but Mike Matheny saw him have some big impacting hits on that road trip.
Sunday had the home run late in that ball game, and the dramatic home run on Monday to tie the ball game up. Then what was it, 3-run home run in the first inning off of Zambrano, where they scored 5 unearned runs, and pitching staff made that hold up. So his last 3 starts, you know, he's had home runs. You see his last 10 games over 300, 4 home runs, 12.
Ground ball to the left side. This is going to advance Craig, and Molina is thrown out by a step and a half. Nice play by Alvarez. Good read off the bat by Alan Craig to advance to third.
Pedro Alvarez has made 13 errors on the season, but you saw him come in a do-or-die play. Even with Yadier Molina running, he didn't have time to take it in the glove, make the exchange. He had to reach down, let it slide into the fingertips where you get that grip, and throw on the run. Nice play.
That brings up an RBI opportunity for David Freese, who has 47 RBIs on the season.
7-game hitting streak. 387 during that streak. Have to get at least one back right here.
Infield for the Pirates is conceding the run. They're back. All 4 of them are back, even at the corners.
David, a little streaky. He's on a good streak right now. And so that's one of the reasons why he's down in that 7th hole. But we do know he is a very good RBI man.
There's the infield. There are some teams that will bring the third baseman in. In fact, Alvarez now coming in. Jones still playing back. Middle infielders conceding the run. 0-2 to Freeze. Ground ball to short. This will get the run in. Armas throws out Freeze, and it's now 2-1. That is getting the job done.
You would like more, but that's what you have to get. You have to get that runner in there. You cut the lead in half. There's a lot of ways to get RBIs other than just hits.
Daniel Descalzo going with the old school Sox tonight.
So for his last 8. He had 280 on the road trip and played very fine defensive baseball. Stands out now, doesn't it? Somebody wears their pants high.
It looks right on him, doesn't it? You always think about middle infielders wearing their socks like that. There was a time where all Cardinal players would do that.
And there are some guys that don't even know what stirrups are. And what do you mean there's socks that have have stripes on them? There you see. If the Lou Brock can wear them like that, that's how you should wear them. One time it was the Cardinal rule to show 3 stripes.
What you mean by the stirrups is now it's all in one. The sock and the stirrups are basically the same.
He's got the old-fashioned.
Although he does. He's got the old-fashioned. He's wearing stirrups.
He's wearing sanitaries and then stirrups.
I thought those went the way of the dodo bird.
Rip Rowan had to dig deep.
Found an old box.
Found an old trunk.
Old box labeled Buddy Bates' stuff.
Put Giacomin. And then you have, well, I guess what George Hendrick added to the game.
First one to do it that I could recall. 3-2 now to Descalzo, batting with 2 outs, nobody on here in the second.
And you know about the story about a lot of the scouts, and Whitey Herzog was one that scouted him and George Hendrick in Southern California. At least he didn't have the overalls on. Didn't want to play.
They made him play.
Yeah, he didn't have enough players. They made him play. And
in overalls and a white T-shirt, if I remember correctly.
And there's like 25 scouts there to see him, and he put on a display. Hit a couple home runs, long home runs and everything, but I don't want to play.
As George told the story, I think his mom made him go. She said, there's scouts at the door. They want to see you play. And he says, I'm not playing baseball.
He is one of my favorites.
Good thing he did. Full count from Correa. Another foul ball by Descalzo, hanging tough.
And then Rick, to think about it now, he makes a living as a coach for the Tampa Bay Rays. So somewhere along the line he got the message that he was pretty good and he's got a lot to impart to younger players.
Descalzo works a walk. Good at bat against Correa, has made him throw a lot of pitches, and now Cardinals will get through the 9th spot in their order and Adam Wainwright. You mentioned Wainwright not hitting the way he has in the past. At times Tony La Russa used him as a pinch hitter, but he's just 0.67 so far. You just wonder if that has something to do with coming back from his surgery and how he's swinging the bat, being careful with it. Wainwright bounces out. Cardinals pick up a run. Before action today, the Cardinals had their first round draft choice here at the ballpark, taking batting practice. We'll visit with him next inning. Inning, warm evening at Busch Stadium, and we have kicked Al Raboski out of the booth, and we brought in James Ramsey, the Cardinal first-round draft choice. Welcome.
Rick, thanks for having me.
23rd round pick, or 23rd pick, I should say, in the country, first round. That must have been quite a thrill for you.
Yes, sir. It was great, especially to land here at the Cardinals in a great family organization that has a rich tradition of winning. I couldn't be happier where I ended up.
Outstanding career for you at Florida State, and ACC Player of the Year, a lot of awards. I assume you were hoping that you'd get drafted in the first round and thought that was a possibility.
Absolutely. It's every kid's dream to go in the first round and to have an opportunity to play for a team like the Cardinals.
The Cardinals are happy to have you. No doubt about that. There's John Mozeliak. He and his staff were part of the whole draft process, and I'm sure you've met a lot of people today, James, in your travels, but one of the fun things you got to do is take batting practice down on the field. What was that like?
You really can't, talk about that experience, how awesome it is. You get down there on the field with a bunch of guys who you're emulating their game. You've done a lot of things to try to be successful like they are, and being able to see it firsthand, being able to be in the same round as Yadier and Rafi, it was great.
0-2 the count to Jose Tabata, leading off the third for Pittsburgh. There's Rafi. Now, I happen to know that the manager throws to his group. Was Mike Matheny throwing to you today?
He was. They
How
said
about
that, catchers throw the best BP. So, my dad was a catcher, so I believe that from the hours we spent in the cage growing up.
I kind of think old left-handed pitchers throw the best BP, but we won't quibble on that. I know Mike likes to work to that group. I assume you had a chance to visit with him some.
Absolutely. Great man, man of faith, and I got to know him a little bit. He brought Tate down to Tallahassee, and just a great family overall, which is not surprising, the fit they have here in St. Louis with him as the manager.
Nice play by Furcal. Couldn't get it out of his glove. That's going to be an infield hit for Tabata. Furcal has been very good of late defensively. Jose Oquendo talking about him potentially being a Gold Glover. And a little trouble on the transfer. Probably not enough time to get the speedy Tabata anyway. Tabata is 8 for 16 in stolen bases, and we'll see if he tests Yadier Molina, who you were just talking about. We got James Ramsey with us here for the top of the third. The Cardinals' first-round draft choice out of Florida State. And obviously a fan of the game of baseball with the talent that you have and the level that you're able to play collegiately. When you think about Major League Baseball, who are some of the guys that you can't wait someday down the road to compete against if they're still playing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The approach I try to take to my game is all about adjustments, trying to make it on an everyday basis. And so really the guys I look to are the guys that are able to play for a long time, to be a model for consistency, to play their game, play the game hard, play the game day in and day out. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys go about it for 162 games.
How do you describe yourself as a player, James?
I think I would say, first of all, just a winner, a guy that really enjoys competing, enjoys playing the game, enjoys playing the game hard all the time. I think that the sixth tool may be my best tool, just of makeup and knowing that I'm going to be a clubhouse guy that is going to do anything I can to help my team win. But overall, having versatility defensively and being able to swing the bat.
Wainwright checks on Tabata, the runner at first. He's 2 for 2 tonight. And James, you hit from the left side, more of a gap guy than a power guy?
I try to say I'm foul line to foul line, try to just pat my game off of hitting for average and then being a more doubles hitter. And obviously the home runs are going to come when you hit a double. It just carries out.
Bit of a hanger up in the zone to McCutcheon, who fouls it off. He doubled and later scored in the first inning. We are visiting with James Ramsey, 23rd overall pick from Florida State. Outstanding baseball tradition at that school.
It is. Mike Martin actually just got named the College Baseball Coach of the Year, and it says a lot about. He's one of the best in the business, and I feel very blessed to have been part of that program.
McCutcheon having a all-star season for Pittsburgh. Very good defender. Hits with power. Relaxed at the plate, but ready to strike. Wainwright is set. 3-2 pitch. There goes Tabata, and it's popped up on the infield. Tabata scampers back, and McCutcheon is retired. Out number 1. What are some of the moments that stick out for you in your college career, James?
I think that, being able to play in the College World Series not once but twice was memorable. Being able to play in Rosenblatt Stadium to close it up and then to be back at TD Ameritrade this year. But, the relationships outside the white lines, the dugout, and the clubhouse with guys that, you're working with all year. You play fall ball with, you're together through the entire academic year. And just the people at Florida State that did so much for me, give me the opportunities that I've had leadership-wise on campus and in many other platforms.
And read some things about you. The academics were a big part of your college career.
Absolutely. Wanted to go back to Florida State my senior year and had a tough decision to make, but felt like I had some unfinished business. And in going back, I felt like I checked all the things off the list that I wanted to do, and now feel like in closing that chapter, I'm ready to open this new one.
And you'll have a lot of great chapters ahead. There's no doubt about that. And it's on behalf of the Cardinal organization, we just welcome you, and the Cardinal fans are going to be excited to see you play down the road, and plenty of good talent in the minor leagues, and now you're added to that mix.
Absolutely. Looking forward to going down to Palm Beach on Sunday morning and get with the team and be ready to compete again.
2-0 to Garrett Jones. He lined out in the first, and Wainwright in danger of losing him. Pirates with 2 runs in the top of the first. Neil Walker, a 2-out RBI single, scored Tabata and McCutcheon. Wainwright in a battle here in the 3rd inning as well. Cardinals have had a lot of high draft choice. They were able to make a lot of early choices in this year's draft. Do you have a chance to meet any of the other players, Michael Wacha, the other first-round pick, or any of the other guys drafted?
Yeah, I've been in touch with Michael. It's been great. From some of the guys on Team USA we've run into and played with up in the Cape and whatnot. And I think that we may end up living together. Hopefully in these next couple weeks. Hopefully he's get that promotion to Palm Beach pretty soon. He's in the Gulf Coast League right now, doing well. Itching to get on the mound again, and so it's been great to talk to some of those other guys. Piscotti as well, I played on his summer team. He hit 4, I hit 3 in the lineup, and so it's very familiar. A lot of good college players the Cardinals have selected, and guys that play the game hard and play the game right.
So you go from one level of your friendships from your guys in the Cape Cod League and at Florida State, and now you're going to have the birds on your bat, and you're going to meet a lot of new friends, and I know it's going to be a great experience for you.
Oh, absolutely. Just learning the Cardinal way and enjoying that together.
3-2 count to Garrett Jones. Wainwright needs a strike here. Will Tabata run again? I suspect he will. Wainwright set, not going, and a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 for Wainwright, and I wonder if James Ramsey thinks he could hit this particular pitch. What do you think?
That's got some serious depth to it, especially in a 3-2 count like that. You got to have some guts to throw it there.
It's a tough league.
It is. There's some guys out here competing every night that know what they're doing. That's for sure.
So if you got one pitcher and tomorrow, let's just say, you hit 800 in A-ball and they call you up in September and you get to hit against one particular guy. Who's that guy you would just love to bat against?
I think that I don't really have a preference, righties versus lefties. Obviously, you like as a hitter guys that stay around the zone, pound a lot of strikes. And, I think that having any opportunity to be up here in a big league spot, no matter how soon, hopefully you continue to do the things well and be up here soon enough, having a chance to face a lot of guys that are extremely talented.
Line drive to left. Holiday has a beat on it, makes the play. We thank James Ramsey and congratulate him for visiting with us here in the third inning. Welcome to the Cardinal family, James. Good to visit with you.
Rick, thanks a lot. God bless.
You bet. Wainwright, his delivery to Jones. The curveball is working. Inning. The Pirates have out-hit the Cardinals 5-2. Wainwright's curveball is sharp. July 1st, hit like the pros. And world champion Cardinals catcher Yadier Molina. Kids ages 15 and younger entering with a ticket on Sunday, July 1st, will receive a 28-inch Yadier Molina Rawlings bat, courtesy of Rawlings. Get your tickets at Cardinals.com. Correa back to work. Top of the order for St. Louis. Call bounced out to the second baseman. And the Cardinals seem to go offensively when Rafael Furcal goes.
I think that's a very fair assessment. And when he gets on base, it kind of jump starts this offense. Had that little rough spell, and the offense went stagnant.
He has scored 51 runs out of the leadoff spot, up among the league leaders in runs scored. He also has 31 RBIs.
That leads the National League by a leadoff man, driving in runners. So he is a big part of the offense.
Al, you had a chance to meet our first-round draft choice, James Ramsey. Nice young man.
Very nice young man. Had a chance to watch him take a few swings today and talk to Mark McGuire a little bit about it, but Mark reminded me, and in fairness, pretty nervous taking batting practice with the defending world champions and everybody kind of watching and everything, but he kind of settled in, and you can see he has some line drive ability. Here's our table set.
Leadoff walk for Furcal. See if the Cardinals can make that hurt.
captain of the Florida State team. That's something. I think they only said something like 5 times that's happened.
He was a Dean's List at FSU. His academic career very important to him. Talked a lot about leadership, and you always like to see that in a player in the minor leagues. And you really grow up in the minor leagues, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Very formative in terms of who you become as a man, whether you make it to the big leagues or not.
And that's what people don't understand, you know, is you can sign these top draft picks, but you better have some character, and you better be able to have self-discipline. Mommy and daddy are no longer watching you. You got some money in your pocket, not what you don't get to big league money, but you have some money, and some kids handle it better than others. And I've seen a lot of guys with a lot of talent that just waste it because they don't take that next level. They become professional baseball players, but don't work hard enough to become major league players.
2-0. Now 3-0. In danger of walking the first 2 batters here in the 3rd inning. I mentioned Correa does not walk very many.
And Rick, that's one of the things that I thought the Cardinal offense, when it was kind of going into a little funk, they were not patient. You know, they were swinging outside the strike zone. They were not accepting walks, and walks can be just as important as those base hits. Sustain rallies, start rallies.
Hole on the right side. Jones holding for call there. Not going, and he hits that hole. Call's going to advance to 3rd. John Jay has kept the rally going.
Yeah, you really weren't sure whether Furcal was going to go on to 3rd base, but as you say, the first baseman hold him on. He can't adjust to that ball to his right. Furcal took a little peek at Tabata and then decided to go to 3rd.
Cardinals, one of the high-scoring teams in Major League Baseball. A little surprised the Rockies are on this list. Not surprised that Texas and Boston are there, but 4 teams over 5 runs a game.
Well, I guess the Rockies situation now, they're talking about Coors Field is almost playing like pre-Humidor.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons, and we'll talk more about when they come in town, about their radical plans for their pitching staff.
You'd almost call it bizarre plans.
Well, you could call them anything you want and you'd be accurate, because right now their starters cannot go longer than 75 pitches. A reliever cannot throw more than 50 pitches. There's a 6-man staff with almost the intent to eventually go to an 11-man pitching staff, 11-man starting staff. And Bob Apodaca said, I've had enough.
Staying with the organization, but not at the big league level.
So now they've got, they've promoted, I think, their minor league pitching coordinator, promoted the bullpen pitching coach to the dugout pitching coach, and the minor league coordinator will take over in the bullpen, I believe. But we'll see how that works. And Jim Tracy, I really like him, but basically said, look, it's not working the way we're doing it, so we're going to have to do something that's creative, inventive.
We'll see the Rockies next week. Right now it's the Pirates. 1-2 to Holiday. Just misses.
I think Professor Trokey probably been talking to the Rockies.
To Dan O'Dowd.
Dan O'Dowd, and then he must have sold it to Jim Tracy too. Alba Padaka, I'm not too sure.
Opportunity here for St. Louis in the 3rd. 2-2 to Holiday. Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Correa, and a good time for it.
There are times when you really do need a strikeout. And of course, you can't strike anybody out until you get 2 strikes on them. Holiday kind of looked at this like, how did I miss it? swung over the top of it.
Carlos Beltran. Next hit will be 2,000.
Perfect time for that.
You bet. 2 runners aboard. The pitch. Strike at the knee. Beltran bounced out to Jones to end the first. Batting average at .311.
Good numbers with runners in scoring position. Of course, he's tied for the league lead in home runs and leads in RBIs.
35-year-old Carlos Beltran, a career that began at the big league level in 1998 as a Kansas City Royal.
Didn't qualify for the Rookie of the Year until '99, and he won it in the American League that year.
And a base hit to left. Hit number 2,000 for Carlos Beltran. And it ties the score. .2,000 hits for Carlos Beltran. What a nice moment that was.
Well, it sure was, and ties this ball game up. Drives in his 60th run of the season. And what a pickup by John Mozeliak. 2-year contract for Carlos. I don't know anybody that did not endorse that, and I was one that just said hopefully he can stay healthy. And he's got that problematic knee, but it'll bother him on occasion, but for the most part he's been able to stay in that lineup on a daily basis and produce.
2-0 to Alan Craig, and he did it on his Carlos Beltran jersey day.
Right, all the more special.
Perfect souvenir.
Boy, are they good with their timing for the promotions department.
Ray Search out to talk to Correa. Here it is. Down and away, and he goes with it.
Good piece of hitting. See that ball just going away, and it guides that ball through the hole on the left side and on through.
Last 5 to reach 2,000 hits while they were in a Cardinal uniform. The last one was, of course, Albert Pujols. And before him, some other big names.
Look at those names. Smith, McGee, Gary Gaetti, Bonilla, Pujols, and now Carlos Beltran.
Nice to have that out of the way if you're Carlos Beltran. Now you can just keep piling on.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say that you go on a run now. Been on a nice run for quite a while.
Hasn't seemed very stressful. 2-0 pitch to Alan Craig. Swing and a miss, and he really let that one go. Craig was thinking about home run number 10 right there.
Not bad. Like, once again, 34 RBIs in 36 games. Take that ringing double that he hit back in the second inning.
Cardinals have tied it here in the third. There's a long one to left. This one's back. It's deep. And it is gone. Home run, Alan Craig. And it's 5-2 St. Louis.
Quite the RBI season for Alan Craig. 37th game, and now 10 home runs and 37 RBIs.
Big swing from Molina.
Well, it worked last time. You said Alan Craig was trying to hit his 10th home run. And then what, it was a pitch or two later, he did hit it. So congratulations to Beltran in 2000. Teammates there, and hugs all over that dugout.
Teammates know the significance of the moment for Carlos Beltran. A career milestone, 2,000 hits. Not many players reach that plateau.
Ray has been giving up the home run ball of late. And there you see kind of the hanging breaking ball just stayed up above the belt. He belted it. That young man caught it. Now give it to a younger.
He can keep it.
Much younger. Now they don't be trying to hit home runs.
Chases a pitch out of the zone. Rough inning for Correa, and it started with a leadoff walk to Furcal. In support of Adam Wainwright.
Adam had the rough first inning, but he's settled in, and now you look with him to run with the lead. Should have showed that graphic of Cardinals scoring 5 runs or more a little sooner.
Freeze bounces out. Cardinals offense explodes here in the third.
As a matter of fact, you can look at the label on the package of Schnucks store ground beef to see what time it was ground and packaged. Most Schnucks stores grind beef several times throughout the day. Other stores have prepackaged preservative ground beef, so when you really want fresh ground beef, stop by Schnucks. Shop today and experience the Schnucks difference.
Carlos Beltran now with 2,000 career hits. Alan Craig a little bit behind him with 135, but his last one, a 3-run home run, supplying the offense for St. Louis in the third. 5-2 Redbirds. Pedro Alvarez had a terrible year at the plate last year. Very frustrated, and Pirates have stuck with him and seems to have come out of it a bit.
I think the Cardinals pitching staff kept him in the league maybe in
We helped out
April.
early on. We sure did. Just 191 a year ago. After a really good rookie season where he had 16 homers, 64 RBIs.
Right, number 2 pick in the country. Then he had some success up here. It was just why he failed last year, and then when he went down, he hit 360.
Jam there. Back is for call. No problem running that one down. Here's the action last half inning. We're going to watch this a few more times. Beltran hit number 2,000. Cardinals were not done though. Alan Craig, the long ball.
You really like it now because those two give the 5-2 lead to Adam Wainwright, and Adam knows what to do with it.
He has settled down since the first. He does have 5 strikeouts.
Backup cutter there, and it's not a bad deal, especially when it goes up and in a little bit.
Uh-oh. Long one to left. Barajas.
It's an out.
No worries.
Got a man there.
I think Adam Wainwright said uh-oh too.
Early in the season, Adam was giving up the long ball, but that is another aspect of his game that he's got figured out.
Shows you the power of Alan Craig. Essentially the same spot where Craig hit his home run. Deep part of the ballpark here.
And everyone was a little concerned about how would it play at triple digits temperature in the ballpark. And the ball just fly tonight. The humidity is down a little bit. That knocks some of the distance off.
But as every student of, I guess it would be chemistry, would know, the hotter the air, the lighter it is.
So with the humidity, makes it even more volatile.
No more chemistry for you and me. We're done.
I won't argue.
Probably give a C- explanation between the two of us. 0-2 to Barmes. Barmes has stabilized a bit at shortstop. When the Cardinals saw him early in the season, he was making a ton of errors. But he just has made 3 in his last 45 games, and we've seen him as a slick fielder in the past.
But they've got to be disappointed in his offense.
No doubt.
Grew up as a Cardinal fan. Indiana State. Vincennes, Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. There's in Indiana.
Ground ball, base hit. Past the diving Descalzo. We've been looking at questions all season long. Carsoup.com emailed the booth. Chris from Chesterfield wants to know, Al, if you remember facing, we're playing the Pirates, so let's talk Roberto Clemente. Did you face him during your career?
Sure. He wouldn't have 3,000 hits without my contribution.
Congratulations.
Remember, I started one game against the Pirates, and it was at Forbes Field. And I'm warming up. Billy Muffett, the pitching coach, said, I'm not going to tell you how to pitch these guys. You already know how. Okay. It was my 3rd major league game, first start. He said, but Clemente, don't throw anything at his head. Don't even try and knock him down or anything else. So I got the first 2 hitters out. I threw a curveball. He got a base hit over shortstop. Got Stargell out. Came in. He said, "Oh, I've got to tell you, don't throw him any curveballs either." Next time up, he threw a ground ball down away. Goes ground ball second. Later got another base hit off.
Wainwright's not afraid to throw the curveball. Strikes out Correa. Bottom of the 4th. Wainwright gave up a couple of runs early, but he has been sharp in innings 2, 3, and 4.
And a lot of it is the curveball. He's so reliant on this pitch, and why not? It's just so outstanding. At the 12-6 break, you get hitters to just fish at that pitch right there. Remember, coming off of Tommy John, they said the secondary pitches were last to come back. Curveball came back quicker than the cutter. But right now, Derek Lilliquist will tell you that he pitches with such confidence in this first inning. You know, they got 3 hits and 2 runs off him, but he's been very tough since then.
Scalzo, Wainwright for call here in the Cardinal 4th. And if you're in maybe the mind of the Pittsburgh Pirates, you realize pitcher down 2-0 early in the game, and you kind of just let him back in, and now you got a hill to climb.
Now they're feeling a little better about themselves, and rightfully so, and they feel like they can score. But scoring, you don't always score against the elite pitchers, and
exactly
what Adam Wainwright was before surgery, and trying to get back to that category. And he's showing a lot of great strides.
Imagine Bob Gibson was like that. If you were in the visiting dugout, Cardinals scored a run in the second inning or 2, you'd think, uh-oh.
Well, Rick,
we're done.
I mean, it was a situation like Gibby and like so many. If you're going to get them, you had to get them before the first 3 innings. Because once they got their groove and they settled in, it was over. And of course, back then, you know, Bob Gibson would close and finish games. A lot different game. Have 34 starts and have 28 complete games was routine. And Bob took it to another level with his complete games.
Scalzo flies out. We are at Busch Stadium in St. Louis on a warm evening, a warm Friday evening in late June. Rick Horton with Al Raboski. Jim Hayes with us as well here tonight. Cardinals and the Pirates, game 1 of a 3-game weekend series. Cardinals off to a 5-2 lead thanks to Carlos Beltran's 2,000th career hit. Alan Craig with later homer. Adam Wainwright looking for victory number 7. Wainwright changed his batting stance coming out of spring training, but he's gone back to his original style.
Should.
Nothing wrong with that one.
Just all last season and recovering from the Tommy John, and he lost a little bit of that batting stroke, but I think a lot of it just concentrating so much on his pitching. 5 career home runs, still came in with a 208 career average. Just 2 for 31 this year.
And probably taking a little abuse from his fellow starters. Very healthy battle that they have among the starting staff. All-star voting isn't over just yet. Still have time. From Sunday, July 1st to Thursday the 5th, you can vote for the final player for each league roster. Check Cardinals.com on Sunday, July 1st to see who made the team number 1. You can also vote for who should get the final spot on each league roster.
Carlos very securely entrenched in the number 2 spot of National League outfielders. Recall leading the voting at shortstop. Now the voting is closed now other than that final spot, right?
That is correct.
So, and we do not know these final totals until Sunday?
Correct. Yesterday was the last day
Rest
for
assured, Molina will be there.
No question.
If Tony La Russa has anything to say about it, and he's got 5 picks.
A lot of smiles in that Cardinal dugout. Why not? Good road trip.
Winning does that.
No question. 6-3 on a road trip that could have been probably the reverse of that. You wouldn't have been surprised if it was a 3-6 road trip.
And then you're a little disappointed it wasn't 7-2, but that's another story.
Furcal bounces out. Jim Hayes is going to join us in the top of the 5th. Cardinals lead by 3. Pirates 5-2. Welcome back to Busch Stadium. Adam Wainwright is 50-1 when receiving 5+ runs in support, and that's what he is sitting on right now. That is a very nice number. Rick Horton, Al Raboski, and Jim Hayes is with us here in the top of the 5th. We couldn't be happier. Top of the order for the Pirates, and Jim has a lot of news on the injury front, and unfortunately the Cardinals have had a lot of news on that all year, but you do have some updates for us, Jim.
Yeah, and they're mostly good.
Good.
You know,
time.
Chris Carpenter had temporarily shut down his throwing program days ago. He did resume throwing, but did go see the specialist in Dallas. Well, apparently Carp is okay, because earlier today he threw a bullpen about 40 pitches, and Carp said he feels very good. I guess the diagnosis, thoracic outlet syndrome. Not sure what that is, except Carp says he's going to throw through it, and he'll throw again Monday if he feels good tomorrow, and they'll go from there. Remember, it wasn't too long ago they were just about to send him out on a rehab assignment. Maybe he'll be on a rehab assignment before long.
Line drive to center. Sutton is retired, and now Chris Carpenter would certainly be a lift for Mike Matheny, but the good news is he's throwing. It's still going to be some time.
Well, I had a long talk with Dr. Paletta, and when he went to go see the specialist, and he saw him 4 years ago when this nerve problem popped up, exactly the same as it was then. And I said to Dr. Paletta, I said, well, that has to be encouraging, knowing that he's pitched 4 years and hasn't done any damage or nothing has changed. And he goes, in his mind, that is very encouraging and a relief to Chris Carpenter. And they also, and Dr. Paletta, until, you know, and he was down here early, he was going to examine him. He was going to do that after batting practice. But he said, you know, reading the papers and the accounts and what he knew is, he said that, you know, when Chris said it was a setback, and then 2 days later it was feeling better, you know, and then he did accelerate the program and did a little flat ground work in Miami, that they're just hoping that that was strictly just a little thing that popped up, and maybe you can pitch through it the next time.
And Carp said that seeing the specialist was just trying to find some information about why the thing suddenly felt weak again, and he just wanted to get an opinion. And they're going to carry on. That's the good news.
Wainwright working to Tabata, and he strikes him out. Another strikeout for Wainwright. That is 7. Another pitcher of interest. You talked to him before the game, Kyle McClellan.
Kyle McClellan's making his way back. He'll throw for the first time on Tuesday. So will Jaime Garcia. Both these guys feel like they're making really good progress and aren't too far away. And Lance Berkman, the Cardinal players were hoping he'd be back today. Of course, he's rehabbing his knee in Houston. He'll be here Sunday. And supposedly the knee feels really good. He's ahead of schedule, and he's eager to get back to St. Louis.
We like it when Jim has good news for us.
That was one of the reasons why Dr. Paletta came down here, was to see Berkman too. So, you know, he like the players were under the assumption he would be here Friday instead of Sunday.
Ground ball up the middle. McCutchen with his good speed beats it out.
I know you guys have probably talked about the Pirates quite a bit tonight. Are you buying in on these guys? I mean, they're what, 20-11 over that stretch, best in the National League.
You got to buy in on this guy, Al McCutchen. The lineup, not so sure about. I think the buy-in comes once you see the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. And, you know, I hope a lot of kids looked at that replay and just he did not look in the infield at all. He just put his head straight down and ran as hard as he could, like a sprinter, right to the tape, the first base bag. Don't look at it. That slows you down. But I said, and with all due respect to the Pirates, and remember last year, and they're going to be more prepared this season than they were a year ago, when at one point in the second half they were in first place before they had a total collapse. But I just don't think they're quite there yet, that they won't have.
Ground ball off the glove of David Freese, and McCutchen still hustling. Makes it all the way to third. Head down again.
They're trying to make Al buy in.
Well, there's 2 outs. I mean, there's 2 outs, so you just sit there and go on contact. Ball's in front of you. Sees it goes into left field, and then he just turns on the afterburners and gets over to third base. So, but yeah, I just don't think they have the payroll flexibility that when injuries come up, they don't have the depth in their minor league system that they can overcome what probably, you know, would be improbable to think that they wouldn't have some more injuries at some point. Everything's gone right with A.J. Burnett. He's won 8 straight games. McDonald's been a just unbelievable shot in the arm for him.
And the Cardinals won't see either of them.
Yeah, and we catch a break there because their 2 best pitchers, the starters, we miss them. But as you said, if they can hang around and they can get a lead going in the late innings, they have the bullpen that is very capable of pulling out that victory. They got the right leader too.
They're hitting, what, 233 as a team coming in, but they're scoring 5 runs a game in June, and they have been on a binge.
Neil Walker, switch hitter, batting from the left side against Wainwright, takes the cutter in 2-0. RBI opportunity for Walker, who has 31 on the season. And he has 2 already tonight, make it 33 on the season. And there's how they defend Walker.
More concerned about Walker now that you're falling behind the count 2-0.
You know, Kyle McClellan was saying that he's excited that he's getting closer to returning. The happiest person is his wife.
I heard him say that. And you asked him why. That was kind of gutsy question. You asked him.
That's my job. I want to know how he irritates her.
Kind of personal.
Maybe sloppy. Too demanding.
All of the above.
Backdoor cutter.
2-1 in the dirt, blocked by Molina. Adam Wainwright trying to keep this inning from getting away from him, Al.
3-1 count. You got to be very careful right here that you don't make a mistake. I'm not a proponent at all of walking people, but 3-1 counts scare you. There's a changeup. You didn't shook it off. You want the fastball, didn't want the curveball. Fastball in. Good pitch. And I'm okay with the walk there. Bring up Alvarez with a, start the count even. There are 2 outs, so take him his battle.
McCutchen, Jones, Walker, the runners. Derek Lilliquist working his way towards the mound to have a little chat with his ace, Adam Wainwright, who also wants Yadier Molina to be in the conversation.
I think that's the most important thing. And really, Derek maybe just saying, okay, you guys talk about it right now, what you want to do. It's okay to walk Walker there and load the bases with 2 outs and bring up a young hitter with with no balls, no strikes count, then make him a crippled pitch.
And it's okay for the pitching coach to go out there every once in a while and listen too.
Yes. But get those 2 guys, make sure they know what they want to do right now. And like you say, you can listen to that and then say, that's a great plan, let's go get them.
And if you don't like the plan, you insert yourself.
It's kind of hard to do from the dugout, in my mind, because the guys on the mound and behind the plate know best.
There's a line drive down the right field line, and it's going to drop, and it's going to go to the wall. 1 run scores, 2 run scores, and here comes Walker. And the Pirates have tied it here in the 5th inning. A 3-run double by Jose Alvarez.
Wasn't a good plan.
Well, the plan might have been okay, but the execution was not. Here's the pitch from Wainwright.
It's a cutter and right in the middle of the plate. If it's backdoored to the outside corner or in on the hands, maybe it's a good pitch. But when it leave it right in the middle of the plate, that's an easy pitch to hit and should be hit.
Stat we showed earlier, Wainwright 50-1 when his team gets 5 runs for him.
There you go, bringing up a negative stat.
Should be a positive one.
Should be, but not sure it turned out positive today. It's not over. So pitches by Enning.
Rod Barajas is 0 for 2. Wainwright trying to get through the 5th. Ground ball foul.
Trying to get through the 5th, tied now.
9 hits for the Pirates.
Three in the 1st, 3 here in the 5th, and 3 more scattered between 2 and 4.
Did it matter to you when you pitched, whether it was very hot, just plain hot?
Just thinking the same thing. Thinking about it in relation to Adam Wainwright right now is when you struggle later, I think that's worse than struggling in the 1st inning or 2. Pitch count high here in the 5th inning. I think what you try to do is you try to realize that, yeah, it's hot, but if I can overcome that, the other guy's hot, and I want him to be worried about it and not me. In fact, I think the Cardinals in the 80s and 70s with the turf and how hot it was here in St. Louis, it was such an advantage because you could just overcome it mentally because you were used to it. Visiting teams were never liking to play here at Busch. Curveball, sky to left field. He just got under it, and it carries to the track. But Holliday has it. Jim Hayes, we appreciate the visit, the info. 5-5 is our score. Jay, Holliday, and Beltran. Clinics are coming to Belleville on July 10th. Boys and girls ages 7 to 13 can learn baseball fundamentals from former Cardinal greats. For more info, visit cardinals.com/clinics. Scott Terry does a great job with those clinics. In fact, his two sons are up here in the booth with us as we speak. 5-5 is the score. The Pirates, with 3 runs in the top of the 5th inning, have given new life to Kevin Correa. Very nice Friday night crowd here at Busch Stadium. John Jay, Matt Holliday, and Carlos Beltran in the 5th. Alvarez in on the grass at third, taking the bunt away from Jay. We saw on the road trip that John Jay is not afraid to lay that bunt down. Did it successfully in Miami. There's a ground ball off of Correa. Walker makes the adjustment and throws out the Cardinal center fielder.
Kevin Correa is 3 and 6 because he has not gotten much run support. 3rd lowest in the National League, 2.91 runs per game. Wainwright came in like at 4.3. At least of the Cardinal starters, with Kyle Loesch not far behind him or ahead of him.
Hard hit the center, and it gets down in front of McCutchen. Matt Holliday with his 2nd hit of the night. What's on tap? Brought to you by Budweiser, our good friends at Budweiser. Karstens and Lynn, the starters. Game 2 of the series. That'll be tomorrow on Fox Sports Midwest. Coverage beginning at 12:30. There's a look at Lance Lynn, I guess we'd say an all-star hopeful.
We've got to get Lance Lynn back on track. When you're 10 and 3, you can't be too far out of it, but his last 2 starts have not been very good.
More below average than terrible.
Right.
Is that about sum it up?
Right. And
5 runs in both starts, or maybe 6 in one of them.
He'll have to make a few little adjustments, and I'm sure he's capable of it and been chomping at the bit to get back out there. Cardinals have been getting very good starting pitching. Think about it. Only the 2 starts by Lance Lynn on the road trip, and now this one by Adam Wainwright. But for the most part, they've been quality starts all the way through.
Westbrook's been very good. Loesch has been good all season long.
Yes.
Short lead for Holliday.
Brad Lincoln throwing in the bullpen for Pittsburgh.
There's Lincoln. Three and 1 on Beltran, working on his next 1,000. He may have to play a while to get 3,000 hits, maybe till he's 48.
2-year contract with the Cardinals. Set up outside and right on the black. I say, Rick, used to have National League, American League umpires.
There goes Holliday, ground ball to right side. This is going to be a tough play by Walker to Correa covering, and he is out at first, and Holliday hustling all the way to third.
There's a hustling play by Holliday, and just didn't have enough to get through the infield, but over the head of Jones. And Holliday running on the pitch.
Tougher throw than you might think.
Right.
Throw it to somebody on the run.
Their body is moving towards foul territory. So Holliday sees it right there. tell he picked up Maloney and said it's still in the infield. It's not in right field, so sped up his pace to third base.
For those of you just joining us, Jose Oquendo is ill today, so Chris Maloney is the third base coach. John Mabry, one of the hitting coaches for the Cardinals, is at first base today. Alan Craig has supplied some offense here tonight. Double in the second, home run in the third.
Ricky has talked about some umpires would be known as a pitcher's umpires, others as a hitter. And I can remember a couple guys that would absolutely go and wipe off the black of the plate and say, that's part of the plate. Other guys would kind of cover it up and just show the white.
Technology has made it much more standardized plate for most umpires.
Really?
Little subjectivity in it.
Really?
Believe it or not, that's true.
I wish they go back to the higher strike zone. I think you'd have just as much offense because a lot of those high pitches people don't swing at. And along with those high pitches become hanging breaking balls that go a long way. The strike zone is much smaller than it used to be.
Craig hit a long one in the third. The 2-1. Hit hard to center field. McCutchen on the run, and he makes the play and slams into the wall. Very good play by McCutchen. Went a long way to get that ball, and it saves a run for his pitcher Correa. Defense matters. By AT&T, nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Ford, the official vehicles of the Cardinals. And find a helpful servicing steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. Adam Wainwright working in the top of the sixth inning for St. Louis, and there is a well-hit ball to left field, and this ball is gone. Clint Barnes takes the first pitch of the top of the sixth inning and gives the Pirates the lead.
Time I said that Pirates got to be disappointed in the season for Marmus. He got the base hit in the fourth inning, and now the leadoff home run. First pitch, and just right there, down and in, drops a bat head into the bullpen, and almost like Adam couldn't believe it. Presley going to pinch hit for the pitcher spot.
Alex Presley, we've seen him play a number of times. Good speed. He's an outfielder. And he takes ball one from Wainwright. Kind of a shocking way to begin the top of the sixth, probably just to get me over fastball. And
you know, it's almost two. You're sitting there thinking 8, 9, okay, easy inning, and bam.
Ten hits for Pittsburgh.
Freeman and Marte throwing in the Cardinal bullpen.
Correa's night is through. 5 innings, 5 Cardinal runs. He threw 90 pitches, gave up 6 hits, and he is now the pitcher of record on the positive side, just like that. And here's where you start to get concerned about the Pirates bullpen a little bit.
Very good. I think when you get the last two, Grilly and Hanrahan, they have capable arms in between.
Record in one-run games this season. The Pirates have done very well. 5 games over 500.
They were in a bunch of them last year and nowhere near the same record.
Here's a long one to right off the bat of Presley. This one's deep, and this one's gone. Back-to-back home runs for Pittsburgh here in the 6th inning. And it does not appear to be Adam Wainwright's night.
Pirates have hit the 2 home runs here today. They've hit 48 home runs in the season on the road. That's second to the Cardinals' 49. And Mike Matheny is making that slow walk to the mound. So Presley comes in pinch hitting and leaves the ball in the inner half.
Ages 15 and younger. Entering with a ticket will receive a Cardinals t-shirt. Compliments of Ice Mountain. Great new t-shirt to wear to Cardinal games all season long. Get your tickets today at Cardinals.com. 7-5 Pirates. Cardinals had an early 5-2 lead, but the Pirates have battled back with 3 runs in the 5th, and now back-to-back home runs to start the 6th inning, chasing Adam Wainwright. First pinch hit home run of the season for the Pirates. Last time that happened was Brandon Wood against the Cubs in 2011. Wainwright, every once in a while, will do that little hesitation to try to throw off the timing of the hitter. This time it didn't work.
I think we can definitely say it didn't work. And the last time it didn't work bringing in Sanchez. So our Mid-America Chevy dealers called to the bullpen. Very interesting in that game, rookie. Sanchez was called in, and immediately they had him intentionally pass the first batter he faced. Then he walked in 2 runs, but it's really, in my mind, it's a big mistake to bring in a reliever, and the first thing you do is ask him to do something negative. Everything is positive, 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 and then ask him to do something negative. I asked him to come in, but I understand.
Broken bat, fly ball to right.
That Mike Matheny, who trusts Yadier Molina quite a bit,
as he should,
and he says he's an extension of the coaching staff, which I've always said he was. But he asked, does Sanchez have the ability to strike out this man? And apparently he said no. And so then they intentionally passed him to load the bases. And I guess he was very smart and right on, because he didn't have the ability to throw strikes that night. So get back on track. That's going to happen every now and then too.
No question. He's a guy that, when he's right, can be as nasty as anybody. His slider is particularly nasty, but again, it's a command issue.
And if you think about it, when you went Sanchez in that situation, you said, okay, this is the right move, because he is the best qualified to strike somebody out coming out of that bullpen.
Ground ball to Freeze. 2 outs in the Pirates' 6th inning. We are at Busch Stadium, St. Louis, the Gateway City. Rick Horton, Al Raboski, and Jim Hayes. Cardinals and the Pirates. Carlos Beltran with his 2000th career hit in this ball game, and Adam Wainwright, not one of his better nights. 11 hits, 7 runs, and 5 innings of work for Wainwright, who is on the hook for loss number 8 if the Cardinals can't get back and tie this or potentially go ahead. Eduardo Sanchez.
And of course, when I was talking about strikeouts by a reliever, prior to bringing in Mott.
Andrew McCutchen with his 3rd hit of the night. Very talented.
See what they did. April and May, they were just scoring less than 3 runs. June, 5 runs. Almost doubled their home run, or equaled the home run total this month, what they did in April and May. The average is so much better. Still 233 coming in, but they have 12 hits tonight. So a hot hitting team, and I said the Cardinals were struggling a little bit early in that road trip, and Clint didn't want to hear it. He goes, no, check the numbers. We hit rock bottom.
You mentioned Clint, the right guy for these Pirate players. He's such a positive example, and we've both known Clint a long time, and he's a guy that has a lot of sayings and a lot of kind of leadership comments that he brings to the clubhouse, and very forceful kind of voice that he has. He's very, very positive. from day one. He's not a quitter. You know, he rubs some folks the wrong way, as strong-minded as he is, but that's part of being a manager.
Players don't have to like their manager, but they have to respect him. And if you respect your manager, then he can, get his point across with, a pat on the back or a kick in the seat of the pants.
McCutchen 6th in the National League in batting. Certainly make a case for him being an all-star game starter. There goes McCutchen. Long drive to right, down the line. This could be trouble, and this ball is gone. 3 home runs in the inning. Garrett Jones, his 10th. A 4-run 6th inning, and it's 9-5 Pittsburgh.
Battle for second place is not shaping up the way the Cardinal fans had thought. Third home run this inning. Garrett Jones has a good power, but look at Molina's glove. Instead of being down and away, it's up towards the middle of the plate, and he just turns on it and hits his 10th home run, and now they're up by 4.
So the Cardinals have some work to do tonight. Molina, Freese, and Descalzo will bat in the 6th. Cardinals offense has come from Alan Craig, 3 RBIs for him. Beltran with an RBI, and David Freese with an infield groundout. Cardinals are going to have to start pecking away.
Cardinals have to be concerned about their relief pitching too. Now, Adam Wainwright is the pitcher of record here, but Cardinal relievers 7-14 with a 4.46 ERA coming into this action. So it's about 450. And you should always have a lower ERA for your relievers than you should for your starters.
When you look at the guys out in the bullpen, including Salas and Sanchez, you've seen good things from them before, and Zepchinski.
No doubt about it.
So they're not guys who are being tested for the first time as big leaguers. They're guys who have succeeded as big leaguers.
Yeah, and it's not something you're saying, well, 5 years ago they pitched well.
Right.
They pitched well all, last season and times this season. There's no doubt they have good arms, but you were hopeful that some of these young pitchers really grew up and pitched way beyond their experience level with the success they had last year. But you run the risk is that giving them too much credit.
Another base hit.
And I think what we're talking about is I think Mike Matheny and Derek Lilliquist are very confident right now in the 8th and 9th innings.
Mitchell Boggs having
which
an
are the
outstanding,
most difficult.
No question.
I mean, so if you're very close to solving your problem.
You say Boggs, Marte, Mott have all had consistent, effective seasons. The other guys have struggled. Most runs scored in St. Louis since May of 2008. And more outs to get for the Cardinal bullpen.
And yet the Cardinals offense is still good enough to where they can catch them and surpass the Pirates. But can you stop the Pirates offense so you can play catch up?
Line drive right at Descalzo. Mercifully, the inning ends. 4 more Pirate tallies, 9-5. In the 6th, McCutcheon has 3 of those hits, having an all-star season and having a very good night tonight, offensively and defensively. McCutcheon, a bright young star for the Pirates, really the face of this franchise right now, and we have a new pitcher, and it's the right-hander Brad Lincoln. Mid-America Chevy dealers called to the bullpen. Lincoln in relief of Kevin Correa, who went 5 innings, gave up 5 Cardinal runs. Adam Wainwright went 5 innings as well, and he's charged with 7 runs. Ground ball to third. 1 pitch, 1 out. Presley stays in the game in the 9th spot. He had a pinch hit home run in the 6th. He's now in left field. Lincoln will bat in the 1st spot.
I noticed we had this game sailing along kind of comfortable, and then Jim Hayes joined us.
I was going to point that out, but I thought I would leave it to you.
After Jim and I had bonded earlier this week, and I might have to reassess our relationship.
I'm going to stay out of that one. Good luck, both of you. David Freese. Watch out. Base hit up the middle, right past the head of Brad Lincoln.
8-game hitting streak for David Freese. He had an RBI earlier in this game, but now extends it. Lincoln pitching very well in the relief. Fastball right there, head high, and goes to his knees. Schumacher on deck. Lincoln's been used in and out of the rotation.
Descalzo walked and flew out to left. Been getting a bulk of the playing time at second base. Say he's earned his time with what he's done defensively. A lot of good at-bats.
very well defensively.
Popped up, right side. Walker has it. Two outs in the Cardinals' sixth inning. Skip Schumacher will pinch hit. We want to take time to wish a happy anniversary to Jane and Tom Mee. Their wedding anniversary today. Tom, our director. Jane puts up with him. Congratulations to the both of them.
The Saints. Unbelievable.
Fernando Salas will have the seventh inning. Schumacher pinch hitting for Sanchez, who had a rough outing. One inning, 3 hits, 2 runs.
Didn't take long, but the Giants will not pitch their 5th straight shutout, as Cincinnati is already leading 1-0.
Cardinals go quietly in the 6th. AT trivia question. Who was the last Pirates starter to win 8 consecutive starts?
I don't know, but he's cooling off.
How about before him?
Oh, Doc Ellis back in '74.
A.J. Burnett.
Wonder what drugs he was using at that time. Doc Ellis claimed that he threw a no-hitter on LSD.
Oh boy. Largest drop in ERA from 2011 to 2012. Burnett and James McDonald, another one of the Pirates starters, both on that list.
Yeah, A.J. Burnett is really, not only is he pitched extremely well and regained a lot of his earlier form, but he is really leading a lot of those younger pitchers and showing them what they need to do in their preparation.
Fernando Salas. Chance to get things on track for him. ERA 5.5. You think about Salas last year, you think about a really dominating off-speed pitch. Changeup, first pitch is a fastball, and it's an out. Good start. Seems to me, though, Al, that was really the pitch that separated Salas. He had that strikeout, swing and miss changeup And he's just had some more pitches elevated this year. He's trying to get the ball down, trying to find ways to throw more downhill. And he's working on it. Dyer Miller's working on it with him in the Cardinals bullpen, and he's just not quite there yet. Certainly Derek Lilliquist a part of that.
Well, I agree with his changeup being his best pitch, and there's a lot of times he'll throw that up. You know, there he's got one right at the lower of the strike zone. He had 24 saves to lead the Cardinals last season. So without his contribution, Cardinals never would have been anywhere close to the postseason.
Good pitch there. Breaking pitch. 2 outs. This July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer. Baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 10th at 6:30 on Fox. All-star faces. All 6 of those guys can hit a little bit or pitch a little bit. In Verlander's case, Carlos Beltran will be one of those faces on hand, going back to Kansas City where his career began. Alex Presley made it, pinch hitting in the 6th inning. He homered. Part of back-to-back home runs the Pirates had in that 6th inning. Later on, Garrett Jones added a 3rd. Not really a power team as much as the Cardinals are. Pirates not close to where the Cardinals are. 89 home runs. Cardinals 2nd in the National League.
But they're starting to pick up that pace.
Now ball to 2nd. Nice job, Fernando Salas. Good for you. Nice, easy 1, 2, 3 inning like it's supposed to be. Hours prior to the Cardinals game, you can enjoy free frozen treats and win fun prizes in the Ford Plaza courtesy of North Star. For ticket information, visit cardinals.com. Ice cream, frozen, those are words kind of nice to say on a nice toasty evening at Busch Stadium. 9-5 Pittsburgh.
Brad Lincoln out for another inning of work. Mentioned he's pitched very well in relief. Lincoln has a 0.43 ERA in his 22 innings of work as a reliever. And his next strikeout will be 100th of his career.
Swinging Ground ball to the left side, just past the third base bag.
Looks like
Tried
he's
to
going.
chop that over the head of Alvarez.
Yeah, kind of showing a drag bunt, and then at the last second just tried to push it by the charging third baseman. Got to hit down on that ball and just hope it high hop over the head of the third baseman coming in.
Cardinals trailing by 4 and 3 shots at this Pirates bullpen. It's done a really nice job. You mentioned third collectively with their earned run average in all of baseball. And they've shown a lot of balance out there. The left-hander's been good, Tony Watson. Burkall looks back at Lincoln, wondering, why me?
Inside pitch, and everyone like, you can't do that.
The 2-2. Three-two count on the Cardinals shortstop. Popped up. Pitcher calls for it. Let an athlete handle it. 1 out.
Wasn't spoken like a pitcher.
But that's what they would always say. Let the real athletes handle it. I was offended, so I thought I'd just pass it along. I believe in my heart that Brad Lincoln could have caught that. How about you?
Now, we've both been around pitchers that are very happy to let the athlete catch it.
Right. Want to know to John Jay. I will say, when you look at the modern day player, you have guys that are very concerned about lifting weights, eating properly. They really do take care of themselves differently than pitchers may have 40 years ago, let's say. Let me go way back. I mean, they don't want to miss a beat now in terms of being in tip-top shape, and pitchers are throwing harder. They're, of course, having more injuries now than maybe ever before, so that's kind of hard to understand. But I think pitchers understand that if you can get yourself into good shape and play this game a long time, it's not a bad job to have.
I totally agree with you.
Curveball right down the middle, and it surprises John Jay. The late break.
100 strikeout of Brad Lincoln's career. Kind of a hanging breaking ball, but it does have the downward action. Thigh high, and just fooled him.
Two outs, nobody on for Matt Holliday. Holliday has a couple of hits. His average continues to climb.
Holliday wasn't sure about that call, and kind of surprising that he backed away from a breaking ball.
45,382 here at the ballpark tonight. The 13th sellout of the season. How about that? Congratulations to the Cardinals for their work they do to fill this stadium and create a great experience. The promotional items that the Cardinals have are second to none. Carlos Beltran jersey tonight. And he responded by getting hit number 2,000. That's been the bright spot so far for St. Louis.
Lincoln fooled Holiday right there, but didn't get the call from Ron Kulpa.
And he gets that call. 2 strikeouts in the inning. On to the 8th. Last 9-5 Pirates. Let's go to Pat Paris in our studio with a Bommarito Sports update. Pat? That is hard to believe. Thanks, Pat, for that report. Cliff Lee, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, and has yet to get a win.
Yeah, it's just, it really is hard to believe. But of course, Philadelphia got Chase Utley back recently. They got Ryan Howard now on the rehab assignment. Oh, their offense has been down, but still, Cliff Lee is capable of pitching such a close ball game. You'd think you'd throw a shutout in there.
Base hit for the pitcher Lincoln. Time for our Schnucks difference maker, and we are going to choose Carlos Beltran. 2000th career hit, and let's take one more look at it, Al.
Remember, at the time, it tied the ball game at 2-all. Ball running away, and good piece of hitting as he just guides that ball through the left side and through. His 2000 hit gave him his 60th RBI. That truly is a difference maker. Pirates now with 15 hits, including one each from their 2 pitchers tonight.
Fernando Salas' second inning of work. He had a nice 1-2-3 7th. Hoping to follow that up here. Leadoff hit to Lincoln.
Sam Freeman continues to throw in the bullpen. Young lefty.
game. It's certainly not out of reach, but important for the Cardinal relievers to not let this game get out of hand here. In the 8th and the 9th, Salas, Freeman, whoever Mike Matheny decides to go with. 4-run lead's tough enough.
Pirates are in a nice little position here too, because they have a guy like Lincoln who has been in and out of their rotation. You know,
right.
He could complete this ball game. And you don't have to go to your late inning men that they're going to try and push. You always want to get at least a 5-run lead where a grand slam can't tie you.
Very interesting that most major league managers, and maybe it's just a trend that's happening now, and maybe there'll be a time where it gets reversed. They just really don't think about long men much anymore. To have somebody who's stretched out and able to do just what you said, but the value that could bring to the Pirates for this series, to be able to let Lincoln go 3 or 4 innings and not have to go to the rest of the bullpen. That's hard to measure.
And they didn't have the off day yesterday. They played, so you know they can avoid going to Hanrahan or even Grilly, their 8th inning guy, and they're in pretty good shape. They have other quality arms down there with a 4-run lead.
First walk for Salas. Now we'll have to face Andrew McCutchen, who's 3 for 4. He scored 3 times. Dyer Miller answering the phone again.
You know what he just told him is, barring a triple play, you're in the game to face the on-deck hitter Jones. And then you'll face him the next inning.
Part of Dyer Miller's job, making sure the pitchers are ready for the situation. They know who the hitter is. They should know that anyway, but you remind them in case there was any changes.
There you see right there, he's got the pin, he's got a scorecard, he's keeping scores to help out the relievers. Those are just little subtle things that we never had. You know, a scorecard down in the bullpen, keeping score, to knowing, you know, but as you said, that's the responsibility of a reliever to know who's coming up, know who's available on that bench, who you may or may not face. And if you're really paying attention, you could predict. Some point in the game, 5th inning, you kind of almost could predict who you were going to face in the 9th inning and what the situation would be.
Freeman could have been thinking about that in the bottom of the 7th, knowing that when the lineup turned back around to the top, you were going to get to the lefties in the middle, and it might be me.
And it appears Mike Matheny is going to use young Sam Freeman early in the ball game and then save Sipchinski more for, you know, in the 8th inning if you needed a tough left-hander to get out of the 8th inning before you went to Mott, who managers say, well, I stopped managing, I bring in my closer. Sometimes you have to manage even more.
Maybe time to manage right here for Mike Matheny, and time to go to his left-hander, and that's what he's going to do. There's the sign. Sam Freeman, the rookie from Kansas. Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Bases loaded, full of Pirates. Top of the 8th inning. Folks driving by the St. Louis Zoo.
Clint Hurdle's going to counter Mike Matheny's move with Sam Freeman coming into his 13th ball game. Lost the game, the last one in Miami, with the home run to the lefty. And here's Clint Hurdle's counter. He'll bring in Casey McGee.
So when Dyer Miller is preparing Sam Freeman, he's telling him Jones, maybe Casey McGee. You got to know who they may pinch hit as well. And so you're thinking, as you warm up, I may be facing Jones, but I have to be ready for McGee.
Well, the thing is, too, is Mike Matheny, part of his decision-making is going, okay, and he's aware of, I might be having Sam Freeman face a right-handed pinch hitter, but after the base hit and 2 walks, he had to go to his bullpen anyway.
Agreed.
That's why I believe, Ricky, that particularly with left-handed relievers, that you better be able to get right-handed batters out, because a lot of the time you're going to be facing a right-handed pinch hitter. You got to get the lefties out, but you also have to have the ability to get righties out too.
2 good fastballs from Freeman. Good start. And you're also going to be in situations where you have a lefty, then a righty in between, and then another left-hander.
lefty. So
and if you want to be able to stay in a game, you're going to have to get that righty sandwiched in the middle.
Try to go to such specialization where you talk about a lefty reliever specialist only facing one guy, but that really restricts your bullpen. So Sam Freeman throws too hard and has a good changeup to where, you know, the breaking ball is a work in progress, but he has enough weapons to get righties in, lefties out.
Really spending a lot of time developing at the big league level this year.
Probably not quite fair, but I'm sure he asked him, want to go down or you want to stay here? It's like, oh no, I kind of like it here.
Lincoln, Tabata, and McCutcheon, the runners.
Gapper scores 3 with McCutcheon's speed at first.
Casey McGee has certainly fallen from grace. At one point, everyday third baseman for the Brewers. Then he had an off year and he's just not quite back on track. I just had a sense that he may be the third baseman before the year was over with the start that Alvarez had, but he's come on.
Casey McGee has 5 home runs on the season, all 5 of them this month. And by the way, with the 3 home runs for the Pirates tonight, they have now hit a total of 49 home runs this season on the road, which is equal to St. Louis, the tops of the National League on the road with 49. So,
line drive to center, base hit, 1 hop by Jay. Lincoln is just now scoring.
Tabata was 1 step behind him, already at third base.
Ball was hit so hard, Lincoln went back to tag up. 1 hop by John Jay.
Some pitcher running. So you can see right there, he's not sure what it is. When it hits the dirt, you can go advance.
Just do what Nick Leva tells you to do.
That's a simple way.
Nick, the third base coach, really
Who was it?
learned baseball from the Cardinals.
Remember Okendo in the playoffs was a couple years ago?
Suppan.
Suppan. That's what I was thinking. That Okendo had to finally throw up his arms because he couldn't help it. He wouldn't listen to him. But Simple way would be trust the third base coach.
Leyva, like Jose Oquendo and the Cardinal manager Mike Matheny, bilingual, which certainly helps in this game with as many Latin players as we see. Nick from California, a lot of years managing in the Cardinal minor league system.
Good baseball man, been around a long time now. And a manager at the big league level. Infield fly, rule called.
Walker retired. Freeman trying to minimize the damage. The Pirates up by 5 now. I heard Oquendo and Mike Matheny having a conversation in Spanish on this last road trip, and I had no idea what they were saying.
And you consider yourself bilingual?
Well, I'm quasi bilingual. I'm kind of bilingual. Can kind of understand every other word, but I wasn't getting that conversation. Maybe they were doing that on purpose around me. Lefty on lefty here.
Breaking ball there.
Nothing wrong with that tilt.
No. A good pitch. Good first pitch. Start out that breaking ball and you make it for a strike, then you got that hitter defensive. Almost got a second one, but ball behind the count on that breaking ball. Then the hitter starts thinking, okay, I can eliminate that. I'm going to get a fastball to hit. Take that approach until you get 2 strikes. You got to protect, but nobody protects anymore, do they? Choke up on the bat, try and put the ball in play.
There aren't as many hitters that do that, for sure. There are some hitters that you could define them that way.
Yeah. Rico Carty was big and strong and was a very good hitter. And when he got 2 strikes, you would have thought he was 150 pounds, wringing wet, just trying to punch the ball and put it in play the opposite field.
Players used to call it their emergency hack. You had 2 strikes on it, you're just trying to put the ball in play. The 3-1. And a walk, and that will walk in another Pirate run, and it's now 11-5. And that's what you're talking about for Sam Freeman. That's the guy you want him to get, the lefty on lefty. 4 RBIs for Alvarez.
Like you say, it's a work in progress. He was at AA this year, got promoted to AAA, and I think he only had 6 appearances at AAA before being called. He missed all of 2010 with, I think, Tommy John surgery. He turned 25 last Sunday. So there's a lot of promise, but they're asking maybe a little bit too much from Sam Freeman at this point in his career. But you do like his arm, and if he were to go down, it wouldn't be the first guy. Pretty natural.
Having a little trouble with his fastball command here. Ball 1 to Barajas.
That's what I noticed in his very first start, or excuse me, appearance, was in, I want to say, New York, and he couldn't locate the fastball.
Good changeup.
It's that changeup that, really is a very, very good pitch. Great arm angle, action on it. Make it all so much better if you could locate your fastball.
The changeup that's as good as Freeman's changeup is, he may develop someday into the pitcher that we would call it works backwards, to where you throw fastballs and changeup counts, and you throw changeups and fastball counts, and really the changeup becomes the primary pitch, and then the sneaky fastball, sure, you throw later in counts when guys aren't looking for it. There's the fastball, and he blew it by him after the changeup. That's really what we're talking about.
And of course, there he swings at a pitch that's out of the strike zone. Molina's set up in, and it's away, and good results. After a couple changeups, that 94-mile-an-hour fastball had to look like 104.
Clint Barmas hit the first Pirate home run of the night.
Broke the 5-5 tie.
First pitch of the 6th inning against Adam Wainwright. Average up over 200 with his 2 hits tonight. Fly ball to right. Beltran has it. 2 more Pirate runs here in the 8th. They lead by 6. Presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Beltran, Craig, and Molina in the Cardinals' 8th, trailing by 6. Stranger things have happened. Casey McGee stays in the game. He'll play first base. Beltran is 1 for 3. Cardinals showed a little ability to come back on the road trip.
They're going to have to do it now. Resop warming up behind Lincoln, who's in his 3rd inning of work.
Giving up just 1 Cardinal hit. That was David Freese. And now 3 strikeouts in a row for Lincoln.
First of those 3 was number 100 in his career, and then he picked up 2 more. Craig had a big blow for the Cardinals. His 10th home run, a 3-run shot. Giving the Cardinals a 5-2 lead. Ricky, still, you score 5 runs, you're supposed to win those games.
No doubt.
Good way to explain that is Wainwright was 50-1 when he received 5 runs or more support. So on the other side, you score 11 runs, you're definitely supposed to win.
Offense has really been consistent all year, other than small stretches.
Yes.
But that's always going to happen.
Sure. And good pitching, going to shut down anybody.
Right.
And we ran into Johan Santana's no-hitter. Dickey pitched a great game. Verlander, guys like that. But
the Cardinals have had the #1 offense in the National League really from day one.
Look at this game, Wainwright, and there's 4 in a row. But Wainwright is up 5 runs. Where's the 6 runs? They got it's 11-5.
So it was not just Wainwright. Craig swings over that pitch.
Sorry, gave up 7 runs, but 4 more runs by the bullpen. Correa, they scored 5 runs off of Pirates starter.
And that still points us back to the Cardinal bullpen, and that's certainly an area that's going to have to get figured out. A 1-2-3 Cardinal 8th. Another quiet inning and another good one for Lincoln.
In St. Louis, coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live, Pat Paris will be with Al Roboski. A piece of history for Carlos Beltran. They'll put it in context. Another edition of Mic'd Up, and it's Friday night. That means somebody's going home with a hungo. Mark Zepchinski on to pitch as we go back to the booth. Rick and Al. Al, I got to tell you, you're everywhere tonight.
He is indeed, Jim. Al is everywhere.
Bring your tennis shoes if you're going with me later.
Where are you going later?
I'm actually going to a restaurant to join my daughter Nikki for beginning of a, she and Matt are going to be leaving town in later July, going to Stanford University, so part of the celebration.
You are everywhere. Mark Zepchinski is on the mound for the Cardinals, top of the 9th. Mark Zepchinski trying to get himself straight. Such a big part of the Cardinals' success a year ago, as was Salas, as was Sanchez.
37th appearance, and all he needs is a couple to go his way and kind of get that command of his slider. That's his bread and butter pitch. And many times this year he's been pitching behind the count and then got hurt.
Leadoff base hit for Presley.
17 hits for the Pirates.
Go! Back!
Chris Carpenter is, pardon me, Matt Carpenter is playing left field. That'd be a story if Chris Carpenter was doing it. Matt Carpenter has come in to play left field. Shane Robinson is in right field.
Josh Harrison pinch hitting for the pitcher, Brad Lincoln. 3 innings, very good baseball.
And he had a base hit and a run scored. So a good night for Lincoln. Josh Harrison, a good player, doesn't get to play a lot. Had a couple of hits against the Cardinals earlier in the season.
Seven of his 12 hits this year have been against lefties. Have gone, 7 of those have gone for extra bases, 3 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs.
Hard hit. Percal has it, tries to double off Presley, just a bit late there. Well hit. Ball almost ate Percal up.
Right on the shoe tops. Catches a line drive. And then he tries to double him up, but good base running. Presley to get back.
Tabata is 2 for 4. He scored twice. Cardinals have been out hit 17-7. No errors in this game. But there's a few pitches the Cardinals would like to have back. They're not exactly errors, but errors of a different kind.
Game is really slowed down, and quite a few fans have left.
Andy Van Slyke, one of my favorite ex-Pirates. Still has some fans here. Plenty of them in St. Louis. My old roommate. Base hit and a walk against Zepchinski here in the 9th inning.
McCutchen is just crushing left-handed pitching of late. 23 for his last 44 at bats off of lefties.
Hard hit to center, and it's deep. Back to the track, and this ball is gone. A 3-run home run for Andrew McCutchen. And it's now 14-5 Pittsburgh. Another home run for the Pirates.
Fourth one tonight. 15th, as you said. Shinsky hanging his head. McCutchen came in batting .449 against left-handed pitching. Now it's his 5th of his 15 home runs. And you can see right there in the middle of the plate, very confident hitter. Not far enough in or far enough away.
Cardinals had an off day yesterday. And after that road trip, just had a sense that the Cardinals would be energized with the off day and the positive trip.
Hopeful. You were very hopeful and thought that that would be what was to become expected. But if they don't come back in this game and they're trailing 14-5, they'll be 500 at home, 17-17.
Three and 0 to McGee.
Cardinals will still have the most wins in the Central Division against Central Division foes, but
Ground ball up the middle. Percal has it. Off balance throw, and he got it.
what a play. He hasn't quit, has he? Look at that play right there. He's trailing 14-5, and you get an exceptional defensive play trying to help out. Reaches as far as he can to haul it in. Then you still got to stop or get your motion in position to where you can throw the runner out at first base. Just takes a hit away from McGee.
It's one of those plays that is not going to affect the outcome of the game. We all get that.
But you appreciate that effort.
As a pitcher on the St. Louis Cardinals right now, you are all very thankful for your shortstop who's still playing hard and makes a nice play for you when your staff is struggling. And there's no two ways to say it. The Cardinals relief core is struggling.
And like we're saying, it's like it's not as bad as people want to make it, because right now you feel very confident that Boggs can handle the 8th inning, Mott the 9th inning. So it's just trying to bridge the gap from the starter to those late inning relievers.
Another Pirate hit.
There's McCutchen again, and you can see just swinging the bat with great confidence. Look at Zepchinski's reaction. Hopeful that it won't carry. John Jay runs out of room. He tries to give a great effort, but it's 3 rows back. Four hits and a walk from McCutchen tonight. For 5.
Offense from top to bottom for the Pirates. Rod Barajas is 0 for 5, and he can't figure out how that can be. Everybody else is hit. Five crooked numbers on the board for the Pirates. Sellout crowd here tonight, 45,000 plus. Very disappointed. On the good side, fans had a chance to see Carlos Beltran pick up his 2,000th career hit. Milestone night for him.
Got a great jersey, replica to remind him of that feat.
Broken bat to center. Alvarez retired. That to hope for. Cardinals do score 6. They're close. Any size drink, just 50 cents all day. Tomorrow at your nearest On the Run at Mobile. This year, 6 is a serious number. Unfortunately, so is 14 a serious number, and that's the number of runs the Pirates have scored on 19 hits. They've left 10. They lead by 9. Chris Resop will pitch the 9th for Ray Searge, the pitching coach of the Pirates, another good buddy of ours, former Cardinal minor leaguer, who's done a nice job with this Pirate staff. And the Cardinal bullpen struggling again tonight. All 4 relievers in this game have seen their ERA go over 6 for the season. And that's Sanchez, Salas, Freeman, and Zepchinski.
7 runs for Adam Wainwright, 7 earned runs for the bullpen. Not good. And the home run ball is another problem for the bullpen.
Speaking of home run ball, our Budweiser player of the game is Andrew McCutchen. He had one of those home runs. 4 on the night for the Pirates. His 15th. But more than that, he scored 4 times and had 4 hits in this game. David Freese in the 9th.
The Pirates were swinging the bat a lot better, but these are season highs. Home runs and hits for the Pirates. And it's up to Lance Lynn to stop it tomorrow. And hopefully the Cardinals can put a little charge in this and put a little fear, if not a comeback.
You always like to go down swinging, don't you?
Yep. Started out at 45,000. Very hopeful fans has really dwindled.
Freese, Descalzo, and Matt Carpenter in the 9th.
David extended his hitting streak to 8 games. And an RBI ground out. Scored the Cardinals' first run. RBI total up to 48.
You mentioned Lance Lynn, 10-3. He'll start tomorrow. Christian Day at the ballpark. Be an event after the ball game tomorrow. Both managers will be a part of that. Lance Lynn and Jeff Karstens. And on Sunday, it'll be Jake Westbrook going for his 7th victory. He's been great lately.
Been pitching very well, and Clint Hurdle be very, very positive with his troops. You know, rein them in a little bit and say, let's don't celebrate that, you know, just got 1/3 of this weekend assignment done.
Slow hit. Barmas. That's the Barmas we know.
It's a nice play as he really had to charge aggressively and make a quick exchange. Aesop's another one of their relievers that can go multiple innings. He's thrown his season high 3 innings. Thrown at least 2 innings in his last 3 appearances. You can have the really late inning guys, and then you have some guys in the middle that can give you multiple innings. That really makes a difference for Clint Hurdle.
Ground ball to first. McGee takes it himself. Matt Carpenter gets an at-bat here in the 9th inning. Took over in left field for Matt Holliday. Andrew McCutchen, very good all-star caliber player in center field for the Pirates. He made a nice play defensively in this game, and we've already talked about his offense.
I remember a couple years ago, a lot of people in baseball said Kobe Rasmus was rated higher than McCutchen, and then about 3 years ago they said he is past him, and I think he's still rising.
You look at the career numbers of McCutchen, really not much different than Kobe Rasmus.
Well, I think the big separation now. Last couple
prior
years.
to this year.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're in the same draft class, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that's correct. McCutchen, a .259 hitter a year ago.
How many home runs?
23. And that'll do it for St. Louis. Carpenter strikes out. McCutchen, a big night here tonight.
Tough game, but it's just one game. Forget about it. Win the next 2, you win the series. That's all you can do in a game like this. Forget about it.
Time to turn the page, but don't go away. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live postgame is coming up next.